great day. We had a nice trade today. We shorted two things today, actually. We shorted Apple, which is still falling. We shorted Chewy. We can look at those later. But bottom line is that I trade momentum. And for those of you that don't know what I do, I also trade gaps. So today we're going to talk about making money trading momentum in gaps. If you have any questions, you can always reach out to me. I appear on TV. I talk about the stock market. I talk about trading. You can email me at melissa@thestockswoosh.com if you have questions, or call me at 929-3200-GAP. And you can always follow me on X and Facebook and YouTube. I try to put a lot of videos on there about what I do. So again, here we are. It's hard to believe that it is September and fall is right around the corner. Fall is coming next week. It's a very busy time to trade. So if you're someone that is not ready to go into the fall trading season, you still have time to get ready. If you have never traded in your life, fall is typically a busy time to trade. We have fall earnings season. We have the Fed meeting next week. So there's just a lot of stuff coming up in September. So you want to hit the ground running. You want to be prepared. And I always think preparation is key. I'm a very organized person. I like to get up early in the morning. I get ready to trade very early in the morning. And again, I get prepped and ready to go for my day. But, you know, lots of people want to trade because they want to trade on the side for extra money. Really, we're all doing this or thinking about doing this if you're not doing it to make money. But it's really the idea of having stability. Financial freedom means peace of mind. Yes, it's nice to trade from home. You can trade anywhere in the world. That's all true. But it's really the idea of stability, peace of mind, not having to worry. Again, the cost of things has gone up. You know, despite the fact of what the numbers say, I think inflation has gone up over the last 5 years, if we're going back since, or even 6 years back, 2019, 2020. And when you look at things, you're like, doesn't seem like the prices of things are ever going to go back down to where they were 5 years ago. So the idea of having more money coming in your pockets actually is something that should be an incentive for people to trade and learn how to do this. Now, I put the stats for the room. I'm going to update this by tomorrow. This is through the end of August. 871,421 through 828. And I'm going to put the stats in tomorrow's email through today. Like I said, we did Apple today. It was a nice trade. It worked. We did a short in Apple, and I'll go over that in a minute. But most of these trades are short. So I run a live trading room where I trade every day, and I call the trades in the room. And if you decide you want to join, you could get in the room. So again, this is only through the 28th. But 61% win ratio year to date. Day trades, these are trades on margin. My average risk is about $4,000 a trade to hit these numbers. I trade options too. We did a put. We did two puts actually in Apple. Up over $3 million for the year. Again, this isn't through the last 2 weeks. I'll have to update this. I risk more in my options, just so you know. But people love to do options because they don't need a margin account. So my average risk in my options trades are about $8,000. Win ratio is 65% year to date. Again, I'm going to update this by next week too. So if you're someone that doesn't have a margin account, or you can't trade on margin because you have a retirement account, you can trade options. So year-to-date results, again, I'll have to update this the next 2 weeks. Over 3.8. We got plenty of time left to go in here. Plenty of time for you to get in, and plenty of time for you to get in and start trading if you want to trade. Again, earnings season is right around the corner for fall earnings season, but right now we have a lot of volatility for lots of reasons. Lots of reasons. We have, again, things happen in the stock market because of economic data that drops or news. You know, so there's a lot of reasons why you have momentum. And we'll talk about that in a little bit too. So how can you make your dream of becoming a successful trader come true? Lots of people want to trade. They want to make money in the market, but they don't know where to go or how to start or how to make it happen. How can you do it? Again, consistency. You need a good system. I get up every single day and look for the same thing. If I find it, I trade. If I don't find it, guess what? I don't trade. So again, I'm looking for the same thing, same thing, same thing. It's the consistency. It's the consistency in what I'm doing and the types of trades I'm doing. And I get that by following my system, okay? So here was one trade we did today. Like I said, we did Chewy. We did Chewy today and we did Apple. But this was the day trade in Apple. So we shorted it, 230.50, boom, got the drop. This kept going, by the way. Exited the day trade at 228.80, made $3,400, took 2,000 shares. So if you had taken less, okay, again, still a nice trade. You could have taken 500 shares. So here was Apple. Stock closed here, gap down, open, dropped. So again, what is a gap? A gap is the difference between the close and the open. So Apple closed yesterday at this number, opened it down the next day, which was today at this number. So it opened lower, then it fell, okay? And actually it continued falling even here. I clipped this at 11.11, but this kept falling. This kept falling even, it's still falling now. So the reality is that momentum means what? In a short, okay, which is what we did here today, whether you did a put or a day trade, we did both, you get a big fat red bar, okay? That's basically showing you that the momentum happened what? To the downside. Now over here, I did not do this, but this was a rally. This was a big fat green bar where this was momentum where you could have gone long. So I'm always looking for momentum, okay? Because that's how you make money. Again, $1 or more. I could have held this longer, but again, I made my goal. It was almost $2, got in, got out, done, boom. And again, if you're looking to trade with me, you want to trade, okay, and be focused in the morning. That is the best time to trade. So here's the 1 minute. Here's the 1 minute actually in Apple. So stock close here, gap down, open, rallied, dropped, boom. We shorted it, got the drop. And again, I just want to show you here, I got out of this before it came down all the way here for the day trade, but it came all the way down and touched on right above 226 around lunch. You see this? And we were in this above 230. We were all in and all the way back here. Again, I trade very early in the morning. Quick trades, fast trades. And one of the reasons I prefer to short is because I like selling pressure. Panic comes into a stock or the market or whatever we're doing at any given time and pushes the stock down. So again, how do I do it? I developed a checklist. This checklist is a rating system. It tells me Apple's going to fall, or Apple's going to rally, or Apple's not going to do anything, in which case I wouldn't trade it. So it told me that Apple was going to follow through in the direction of the gap. Okay? And any questions, you can plop it in the room. I'll see it as we go along. But one of the biggest trades in the last month we did was actually PLTR. Now, I talked about this in the email a couple of weeks ago when we did it. Trades like this come along whenever they come along. You don't know. You don't know when they come along. But the fact is we get them when they do. And how did I know that this was going to be a really big trade? Because I rated the gap. Again, I stay with the system. I don't deviate from the system. I don't do different things. I'm not wishy-washy about what I do. I'm very precise in my decision making. Either I like it or I don't like it, okay? So we did, this was a put in PLTR, okay? Actually, let me show you the trade. We did PLTR puts on 8/14 for the 180 puts. It expired 8/22. 8/14 is here. Just want to go up and show you. Closed here, gap down. Right here, snug as a bug. So I bought the put, and then to enter it, and then I sold it to exit it, okay? So again, talk about momentum. So momentum can come in one big fat red bar as a short. Actually, it did down in here. Or it could happen in a series overnight as it falls. Boom, 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 boom. See what that did? So this was a huge trade. It was cheap relative to the cost of the price of the stock. $325 for one contract. You could have bought one. You could have spent $325. That's it, okay? Which equals basically 100 shares of this. Sold at 35. Profit was $95,250. Return on investment 977%. Again, we don't get trades like this every day, but we do get trades like this. And when you have huge winners like this, it covers the losers. Because again, I showed you in the stats earlier, you're going to have some losers. It's totally unrealistic to think that there's any system that doesn't have any losers. I was doing a webinar the other day, someone was saying the system was 95% win ratio. That's not realistic either. You're going to have trades that don't come your way. Why? Even in a good system, you have trades that don't work out. Why? Because things happen that are unexpected. It could be war with Russia, or who knows? Economic data, something could happen that could mess up a perfectly good trade, and you get tripped up in it. But overall, if you stay with the system, if you stay consistent, if you stay steady with your risk, if you get the big ones, you're going to be able to move ahead. You're going to be able to move ahead and move forward. Here was a smaller risk, 1,300. Again, if you want to risk around 1,000, 4 contracts, you could have made $12,700. Again, people are back and forth all the time about how much they want to risk in a trade. If you want to ask my advice about what I think about the type of risk you should have for your account, you can always ask me. But I tell people to start slow, okay, when they first start, right out of the gate, once they do the class. Because, again, you want to learn how to do it. You want to go slow and figure it out as you go. But you certainly could risk even more than I'm risking. Any questions here so far? How are we doing? Hello, is anyone there? Hello, hello. I see Dan. See a couple people. All right, I'm going to keep talking. All right. So, again, do you want to do this full time? Do you want to do this part time? Because for me, even though the market's open 6.5 hours a day, I don't trade for 6.5 hours. Bottom line is that I focus on that morning period, 9:30 to 10, and then I check my options during the day. I'm not sitting and staring and staring and staring at the screen. One of the things that I like about trading is, again, that it is part-time hours with full-time pay. Because, again, when I was doing my mortgage job, my career before, it was 7 days a week. It was just a lot of hours. And I wanted to do something where I didn't have to work, 70, 80 hours a week. But you need the right tools to be successful and to get good results. Very important. So I developed a system and method. It's called the Golden Gap, the Golden Gap rating system. That is what I do every single day. And like I said, I don't skip it. It's a tool. It's a very useful tool that helps you develop, again, what to do. And then you just follow it. And again, it's something that I teach in the class. It's something you can learn and apply yourself. You don't even need me. While I call the trades in the room and you can follow me, you will learn in the class how to do it yourself, which is very important, okay? Because again, if you know what to look for, you shouldn't even really need me. I make it easy for you by calling the trades, like today in Apple, and you can ask me questions, okay? But it is good for you to know how to do it yourself. Now, I want to go over the PLTR here again. We did the 160 puts too, which I called on the 19th. So on this day here, right in here, again, we had another PLTR gap, and I called a lower strike, the 160s, that it fell and crashed through on the day that I called it, and crashed all the way through, almost went all the way down to 140. So again, 10:47 in the morning on the 19th, I called the 160 puts. See where it went? Dropped. So again, you can follow through a beautiful, beautiful gap overnight if you want to, which is, again, the only risk you have in an option overnight is whatever you have at risk. So an advanced trader risk, I risked 9,500, made 26,500. This was a 279% return on investment. Got in on the 19th, got out on the 20th. If you did a smaller risk of 3 contracts, 1425, again, you could have made 3975. Very nice trade. You could have done actually multiple trades in this. You could have done more than just the 2 strikes we did. It was a really nice move. You could have got in, got out, got in, got out. You could have held it. You could have chunked it. You could have done 2 contracts, got out of 1, held the other. Do you know what I mean? So again, getting back to this, talking about momentum, again, this is momentum. This is momentum. And again, the tail here, even though it seems weird, actually was selling. So again, this closed here. This is a gap down. It actually sold off before it reversed and closed. Okay? Any questions about options while I'm talking here? We're doing okay? Okay, so again, how do I figure this out? I use a 26-point checklist that tells me what to look for every single day in the stock. So it also makes it easy for me. I don't have to sit, I don't have to read through an earnings report. I don't have to spend hours and hours and hours figuring all that stuff up. I spend, 5-10 minutes in the morning rating the gap. And again, I tend to look on the downside for shorts first. I prefer to short. Why? Panic equals selling. Actually, we had selling in the market today. We had panic in the market today. So we had panic in the market today in what? In a gap up. In a gap up. So again, it's very, very interesting because you could have a gap up that sells off. You can have a gap down that sells off. But again, people get scared for lots of reasons and sell. And then we come in and we play it. And again, you can play it as a put or as a day trade short. So how do I determine what the smart money is doing? Because that's what really is creating the momentum in the first place for the big moves. It's big professional traders, institutional money. I use my tools. It's my rating system. Again, it is based on technical analysis in gaps. I get up in the morning and I do the work. There's no shortcut. I mean, again, any job that you have to do work. The benefit of trading as your job is that you work for yourself, you work from home, and you can make an unlimited income if you're smart and know what to do. So it's worth putting in the work. It's totally worth putting in the work. A lot of people say they want to make a lot of money trading, but they're not willing to put in the work. You have to put in the work. It's time. It's using your brain. It's paying for a class like mine. It's devoting a weekend to taking that class instead of just having fun in the weekend. It's really dedicating yourself, to getting it and being successful. When I started, I was very, very dedicated to my own success. When I start something, I do something, I just throw myself into it. And that's just how I am on any project. And that's how I was when I decided to trade in it. It took me 3 years to figure it out. And I didn't know how long it would take me to figure it out, but I did. And again, now I've been trading for a long, long time. So, once you get it down, the sky's the limit. It's just how much you want to risk. So again, let's go over the basics here of what is a gap. Stock closed here, gap down. Stock closed up here. Again, this is Walmart. It was a different chart, a new chart. This is Walmart earnings. On the 20th, the stock closed up here at 102 and change. Gap down here around 99 and change. I got up in the morning. I saw the gap in the Walmart. I rated it. I said, you know what? This is going to fall. This is going to sell off. I actually did a put in this, and I got out of this before it fell all the way down here. I could have held the put longer. But this is, again, momentum. See where it went all the way down. So, again, it started up here around 99 and change and fell all the way down to 95 and something. Can you believe that? Again, this is a big move. Whether you have one contract or 100 contracts. So we also did a day trade in this too, because I like to do day trades as well. This is a trade on margin. 98.45 was the entry. Exit was 97.38. This was the first day in here. Oh no, this was the second day. I'm sorry. The second day we did it the 22nd, where it opened here, rallied here, and dropped. Profit was 32.10. Nice trade in here. Again, hit it, got in, got it out, done. One of these things where you're looking to do it and get the quick money. And that's one of the reasons why I like to do the day trades. So I'm usually day trading the room between 9:30 and 10, maybe 10:15. I held Apple a little bit longer today. I could have held it even all the way down further. But again, the puts, when I'm doing a put or a call, if I'm going long, if I do go long, I'm trying to get a big move in the day or holding overnight. Okay? But it's the checklist. This is the meat and potatoes of how I figure everything out to determine the direction and to make the pick. The checklist tells you what to look for in the price of the stock. And that is what's important. It's based on what? On technical analysis. I find gaps and rate them using a checklist. Gaps have to be qualified. You can't just short every down gap. You can't just short every up gap. You can't go long every up gap. You can't go long every down gap. It's not that simple. I'm looking for big momentum. I'm looking for big money. I'm looking to trade on the side of institutional money. Big money moves. Again, that's how I'm going to get the 200, 300, 400% returns on investment. If the stock's only moving a little dinky bit, I'm not going to make a lot of money no matter what I risk, okay? Now, I also did a PLTR day trade on the 25th here, which again looks kind of funky. Here's the 25th, but the stock closed here, gap down, dropped, fell, broke 150 on this day, but I got out of it quick. Entry was 154.90, got out at 153.50. Profit was $3,500. This was here on the 25th. So again, you can take a good gap and you can play it for quite a while until it just, is played out, basically. Any questions here so far? How's everyone doing? You doing okay? Don, you said your chat's disabled. You should be able to go down to individual user and chat in the box, but you have to pick my name. You can't chat to everyone. You have to pick my name, Melissa Armo. Can you see it? If anybody has any questions and you can't figure out the chat, you can just email me questions. I just got an email from Don. He said the chat isn't working for him. If your chat isn't working, you can always email me. It should be working though. I'll have to ask the support guy, but you can email me questions. So anyways, as I was saying, next week's a Fed meeting. Everyone's on edge. Everyone has a different opinion. Some people think it's a quarter drop, a half drop, 3/4. I mean, everybody has a different opinion. Again, I talk on TV about what I think. It's going to be whatever it's going to be. We're not the decision makers for that. So if you're going into next week and you're in market trades or you're playing the actual market, the QQQs of the SPY, it's, you better watch what's happening because it could be a wild, volatile week next week. And if you're trying to trade the news, it may not be what you think. And again, you can't even trade the fundamentals. Oracle had earnings and the earnings missed and the stock gapped up 80 points. You say, wait a minute, that makes no sense. I'm looking at the technicals, the price action, the charts, because you can't always match up what is happening with the fundamentals. Again, we wouldn't even have time to go through all of the earnings reports for that, to be honest with you. But I use this rating system. I use it all the time. It's a very useful tool each morning to determine what stock to trade and when. It's a very useful tool in any market, but particularly in this type of market. It also helps you decide if you should exit a long. So I'm determining if I want to short, and then I'm determining if I'm in a long, if I want to exit it, like if I'm in an overnight, if something gaps against it. So it's a very useful tool, and it takes the guesswork out of your trading. A lot of people are constantly back and forth, 50-50 guessing. That's not a good idea. You need to have 100% conviction or pretty close to it if you're going to risk your own money, because you could lose. Every trade you take, you could lose. So the risk has to be worth it. Again, the risk to reward has to be worth it, okay? So in order to become successful in the market, you have to become an expert, a specialist in one specific strategy. I choose a strategy that reads institutional money, or what I call power money in the market. This brings momentum and opportunity. Reading, this is a skill. The skill can be acquired through education. And again, it's one of these things where if you know what to do, you're going to feel a lot better about risking your own money. A lot of people are like, well, I just want to take the trade. No, if you know what to do, you're going to feel better about taking the trade. You're going to have the conviction. You're going to feel like putting on the risk. You're going to feel like holding out for a bigger target. People do want to understand. They do want to know. It's okay to say, I don't understand. I need to understand. It's going to help you risk money. And again, once you come to the conclusion that learning is part of the process, you're going to be a lot better. I think people take classes and don't get anything out of it, and they start to turn negative on education, but not all education is bad. Some is bad, that's true. Some is worthless, but not all. And some is very valuable. And again, I consider my class very valuable. Even people that take it, again, So a lot of people that take the class are like, oh my God, this is so much information. Yes, it is a lot of information. I give it in 2 days. I could spread the class out over a week, but I teach the class on the weekend because I'm not trading on the weekend. The market's closed, okay? But you get a lot of information, and then you process it, you start trading, you come back, you can ask me questions. So how can you become successful trading? It's really not by risking a lot, okay? It's by being consistent, okay? And that is what's important. And, you know, again, for me, I never really wanted to do anything else. Once I started trading and really getting into it, I had a small risk in a trade once, and I made a lot of money. And after that, I said, oh my God, you know what? This is it. I really want to short, and I want to do gaps. There's just nothing like gaps as far as momentum goes. So the biggest momentum you're ever going to get in any trade is going to be found in a gap. And so that's why gaps are so powerful. And again, I prefer to short because selling action happens quicker and faster than buying. There's no emergency to go long. You can say, well, I want to go long, Tesla or Apple or whatever you want to go long. There's no emergency. There's no panic in that. I mean, I'm not going to say there's never something called panic buying. Panic buying exists, but it's very rare. But there is a lot of panic selling that happens, okay? And so when you think about it, you're like, okay, wait a minute, this totally makes sense. It makes sense you could have big moves to the downside. And you know what else makes sense? A lot of people don't know how to short. They only go long. They're buying the dips, they're buying pullbacks. That's all they know how to do. They're playing the trend. What if the trend stops? In fact, I'm just going to pull the market up. Let me know if you could see this here. I'm going to pull the market up. Everybody see the market? Everybody see the QQQs? You go down to 2 individual user and you chat. I don't know, maybe the chat isn't working. I'm not seeing any chats. You can email me if the chat isn't working. I have to ask the support guy. But I hope you can see it. But anyways, this is the market, okay? And we are in an uptrend. A lot of people have been going long, like I said. But what if it doesn't continue? September, October, November, December, we got a lot of time left between now and the end of the year. What if next week is not as people think? What if it doesn't go the way people think with the Fed rate drop? Again, what if we sell off like a hotcake? What if between now and, you know, whenever, 2 months from now, the next 8 to 10 weeks, we fall all the way down to 500? People think, well, that's impossible. That could never, never happen. Nothing's impossible. And once you realize that and the power of shorting and the power of momentum, you'll see that nothing's impossible. Okay? People are so certain that something's going to happen very often, and then they're shocked when it doesn't. You need a winning strategy. Mine is golden gap. So what is a gap? A stock gap to the opening price today is different than the closing price of yesterday's trading. A gap is a break in price action from one day to the next. Simple. So again, what is a gap? Dow gapped. Could have done it here twice. Stock closed here, up here 134, gap down here 124, open, rally, dropped. This was on the 29th. It also gapped here yesterday. Stock closed here, gap down, fell. You could have shorted it here. Got in, got out. Boom, done. Called it a day. So again, a gap is a difference between the close and the open. Those were bearish gaps. What about a bullish gap? Again, I didn't do this, but you could have went long here. Stock closed here, gapped up, rallied. Could have gone long. Okay? I didn't, but I'm just showing you. It's about determining who's in control. Who's in control? Somebody's always in control at one point or another. You may think that somebody isn't in control, but in reality, you always have somebody in control. And again, it's one of these things where you have to figure that out, because once you figure it out, that's the side that you want to play with. Do you know what I'm saying? Because it makes it so much easier then to make money. Okay. Now, going back to the Walmart, again, if you were long in the Walmart, you lost. Sold off, had the earnings, closed your gap down, sold off for a week. So getting the direction right is extremely, extremely important. In fact, it's the most important thing. If you don't get the direction right, then it's going to be hard. It's really going to be hard for you to make money. People want to scout trades and go the opposite. It's not always the right thing to do. Okay. So again, you need a winning strategy minus golden gaps. What is a golden gap? A golden gap is a gap that rates 20 points or more per the golden gap 26-point rating system. You take the trade in the direction of the gap. You do the trade as a day trade or option. So I'm never flipping it. Okay. Now, just want to show you up here. Again, going back to the market, I thought the market would fall today, but I didn't short this today as any type of day trade new entry because I don't short gap ups. I did short, actually let's look at the Chewy, the Apple and this. This is the other trade today, Chewy. So stock closed here, gap down, open, dropped. So again, I'm looking to take it in the direction of the gap. But again, I did read this market here today and I said, you know what, I think this is going to collapse. And it did. So you can do it as a day trade, you can do it as an option, but it's very important to find out exactly what should I focus on. If I have everything figured out ahead of time before the open, I'm very organized, I know what to do, it's less stressful. It's just keeping the stress low is very, very important. When you're less stressed, you're going to make better decisions. Do you follow what I mean? So if risking a lot of money or doing too many trades is going to stress you out, do one trade at a time. Again, I usually do one trade a day. I happen to do two today, and I'm glad I did, but I usually do one day trade a day because the day trades go fast. But I get up in the morning, I rate the gap, I use the 26-point checklist. This is what you learn in the class. This checklist tells me what to trade each day and what to look for. And again, I love options, but I'm holding options not all the time overnight, but I'm holding quite a few overnight, it seems, because I'm trying to get bigger moves in options. So we did the 570 puts, it was a couple weeks ago, for Labor Day. Monday the 18th, here. Where was I? We shorted the market. We did a put. And then we had a beautiful sell-off this week. I don't even remember why we sold off this week. It was a different thing every week. But we did a put here. Got the drop. Boom, boom. So again, here, we did the 570s. Okay? So again, you can do something at the money. You could do it away from the strike. This was so cheap. $1.70. You could have paid $170 and made 518%. You could have did one. So you don't have to have a lot of money to do options. 50 contract, risk is $8,500, sold at $10.50, profit was $44,000, risking $8,500. This is a nice trade. Again, got in the 18th, out the 20th. If you did six, you could have done 6 contracts and risked $10.20. Again, you could have made $52.80. This is a beautiful trade. Someone that has $5,000 in their account, if they did this trade, double their account. That's a nice trade. Your account goes from 5 to 10. Boom. Again, you would have done it on the 18th, got out the 20th. So that's 2 days. Okay? And I consider that fast, actually. But if you learn how to read the footprints of big position players before the momentum occurs, you can take the position in the right direction, get out after the move happens for profit. But you have to understand how to trade with this side of power, and you need to know where to find it. Knowing how to read what institutional money looks like is essential to becoming a successful trader. The benefit is that you can win big trading on the side of power. Again, Apple's just such a great example today. And the Chewy. Again, we just shorted this. We got in so early in the morning. Now, I get out of this, again, in the morning because I get out of my day trades early. But we did put in this too. We just got in. You just write it down. You just write it out. That's it. You let the power, which the control is the power, which is on the side of the bears. The bears, okay? So the bears were in control. And you just ride the wave of the momentum. You follow me? A lot of traders want to do the opposite. And again, momentum trading is not trend trading. Don't get confused. It's not the same thing. We're not trend trading. Okay? Anyways, too many people are all over the place when they trade. Having a system to follow really gives you a focus. And I think it's critical. Again, I've been teaching people for 15 years now, and people are all over the place for their trades. I'm not. It's one of the reasons I'm very successful. I focus on gaps. I do nothing else, and I'm mostly short. So I get really, focused in the morning because that's the prime time to trade. But again, it makes it so much easier because I'm only doing one thing. If you're doing a million different things, it's a lot. You know what I mean? It's like you can't really get good or get the focus under your belt. I don't know if anyone has any questions. I'm not sure if something's wrong with the chat. If you don't know how to chat or the chat isn't working, you can email me now if you have questions, if anybody's here. I want to make sure I answer anyone's questions if anybody has any. I don't know what's going on with the chat to ask the support guy when we're done. What is today? Wednesday? Yeah. Today is Wednesday, tomorrow's Thursday, and Friday. So we have 2 more days left in the week. And then next week, actually, the Fed meeting is 1 week away. Today's Wednesday. It's a week away. Can you believe that? They've done nothing but talk about the Fed between the Lisa Cook scandal, the rates, the economic data, everything. It's just going to be a really big week in the next week. I think we're going to have a lot of good trades. So gaps are the most powerful show of price action in chart. Gaps have large moves. Gaps can move up or down. Some of the biggest momentum moves in a daily chart come from a gap. When I trade, I'm looking for and trading momentum. Then whether you have a small size or a large size, you will get a good risk to reward. So again, the checklist is it. This is what I teach in the class. You can do it yourself. You don't even need me. I make it easy. You can ask me questions, but you really don't need me because you're going to learn in the class how to do it. It's the rating system. It helps me determine who's in control. If I say the bears are in control of Apple, I'm going to short the heck out of it. And that's what I did today. That's what I did. If I determine the bulls are in control, then I'm going to go for it. You know? So it's about the control, the bears or the bulls. The bears or the bulls. And again, this is important because then you just ride the wave of the momentum. Because you're not going to move a stock. You can want it to go down all you want. You can wish and hope and pray. You're not going to make it go down. You're not going to make it go up. Okay? So a big flow of money is the only thing that controls stocks. And a big flow of money going in a certain direction is what moves the market. Stocks creates momentum and sets the trend in charts. When you're looking for institutional money, you're really reading the side of power in a stock. You want to be on the side of the power in order for you to make money trading. And again, institutional money is in charge in the market and stocks at all time. Even if you think it's not, it actually is. And so the rule is focus on quality. Only trade when a gap rate's good. That's the rule. Risk the same in every trade. Chunk it out. Book profits. Chunk it out in the room. Again, I get out of my day trades quick. Hold the options if you want, or chunk it. Again, you could do several contracts, get out of some, hold some more. Or even if you do day trades, get out of half, hold half. It's about really doing the right thing and getting good at it. It's not about doing a million things. And again, I can't stress this enough. It's such a big deal for people because they always think that there's going to be this next get-rich-quick thing. It's not about that. It's getting a good system and then getting under your belt and then getting good at it. And then you add size. You start slow, you start at the beginner, and you add size, and you work smarter, not harder. Getting good is just, something that most traders just don't do because they always want to jump around. But then you miss out. You miss out on what you really want to do, which is make a lot of money, hopefully, So getting good is key to making a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? Because again, you get a good trade, even with small size, you can make a lot. I showed you that in some of those trades, like the PLTR trades. So I'm very consistent with gaps and shorting. Gaps happen in the market on a regular basis, pretty much every day. However, some gaps are better than others, and some gaps are nothing gaps, and some gaps are very powerful displays of institutional money. The most important gaps in the market are gaps that signify a change in direction or a bigger move in the same direction. Understanding which gaps are meaningful and which gaps are not meaningful in the market will help you to know what to do and when a change is occurring. That is how you know when the power of money will flow to pay you. And again, for me, shorting is so just exciting because we were in those trades this morning so early. Whether you want to hold them or get out quick, it's up to you. But panic, I'm telling you, when you see the power of selling action and how fast you can make money the downside, it's exciting. Again, you don't even have to have big size because panic comes in quick. Panic buying is very rare. Panic selling is all over the place, almost every day. So think about it. Again, think about it. Process it in your brain. You're like, wait a minute, this totally makes sense. I get this idea about shorting. Again, be consistent. It helps you in any market. Just think about it intellectually, So the system tells you how, what, and when. How do you make money in the market? Trade a strategy and system that is profitable. Golden gaps are a highly profitable strategy because they focus on large momentum to trade. What stocks should you trade? Stocks that gap and rate 20 points or more per the Golden Gap 26-point rating system. Trade the gap in the direction of the gap. When do you trade them? Early in the morning on the open when they set up and trigger. You must have the structure in place in order to make any money at all consistently. It is about the consistency that many traders lack in their systems. It measures gaps by rating them in a daily chart to find stocks to trade that have, number one, a high probability of directional bias for the entire day. Big move on the day. Early confirmation of the bias on the move between 9:30 and 10, and precise entries with follow through and a good risk to reward target potential. So again, get organized. If you are interested and you want to learn my system, you write it on paper. I'm a big person about writing stuff on paper with a notepad. You write it down. You trade only gaps that rate 20 points or more. You're going to do options or day trades or both. You're going to have a goal. If you're risking $500, you're trying to make $500. You're trying to turn over 1 to 1. You create a money management plan for yourself to achieve your goal of becoming a professional trader and achieving your goal of working for yourself. And again, it's a good time to trade right now because it's a busy time. Earnings season is a busy time to trade. Again, with all the volatility with the Fed, just so much going on right now. So the system I use to find the right gap each day is the Golden Gap 26-point checklist. And again, this gives me conviction because I understand why. I'm saying, wait a minute, this totally makes sense. Apple's going to go here. And then when it doesn't, I'm not surprised. And then I don't feel nervous about taking the risk because I did the rating. If I don't do the rating, then how will I know? So that's why I still do it even now. I do the work. I spend the time. I get up early in the morning. I'm doing my ratings. I'm going through. I'm scanning. Again, then I say this is so good, too good not to do it. You know what I'm saying? So know that your dreams are possible. Be realistic and grounded so you can attain them. Because, again, so many people have a dream of becoming a trader, but they're all over the place. This is real, but you have to get organized. Again, writing it down on paper is very important. So empower yourself today. Empower yourself today. If you want to trade, you can do it yourself. You can work for yourself. The Golden Gap system is a complete system. You'll learn the entries. You'll learn the 26 points. You'll learn the exits. You'll learn support, resistance, so targets. I teach the class once a month. So this is the class you'd want to get into to train with the fall earnings season with me, which starts at the beginning of October. So the class is not this weekend, but it's next weekend, September 20th and 21st. It's a full course on how to strategically find, pick, and play stocks that are professional bearish gaps. And again, the class is September 20th and 21st, 9 to 5. Class tuition is $69.99. It's a class on how to find, pick, and play professional bearish gaps because I focus on shorts, and we mostly short. And the class is online, and you can be anywhere in the world. Now I'm doing a happy birthday special. My birthday's this week. The Golden Gap course is the 20th and 21st. The Trends class is the 23rd. If you sign up for the Golden Gap course combo, you get these two classes. You save, if you sign up for both, it's $79.99. Again, it's next weekend and then Tuesday. And the happy birthday special I'm doing through this Friday, 9/12, is if you sign up for the combo, you will get the newsletter free till the end of next year, which is the end of 2026. The trading room free to the end of next year, and the market report free to the end of next year. This is huge. So it gives you plenty of time to start slow, get focused, do the classes, get in train. This is a huge amount of time. You'll be set, and if you want to stay in the room and stay in the options newsletter, you won't have to renew until January 2027, which is so far away. Such a long time. Any questions here? This testimonial from Gary. If anybody wants to email me, you can. I see some familiar faces. I don't know if some of you are interested in the class this month. Again, you can do it. We had a wonderful day today. There's people already that are training, that are doing the class, that are already joined. You know, people come into my room. It's very focused. Again, I call the trades live. I call the Apple, the Chewy. I don't know what we're going to do tomorrow. I don't know what we're going to do Friday. I don't know until I get up in the morning. But people come in my trading room with a mindset. They expect to win. And the nice thing is that you can trade from home. So think about it. If you're interested, you can always email me with questions. Again, I'm sorry if the chat isn't working. I'll have to talk to support. But you can email me questions there. Or you can call me at 929-3200-GAP. Again, it's a great special. It's going until Friday. And I'll make sure to get with support to fix the chat for the next webinar. But it's a wonderful special. You can get in, learn, and you can be relaxed and focused with a long time to trade with me and get all the trades for the rest of 2025 and 2026. It's crazy. Can you believe it's almost 2026? I can't believe in a couple of months it's going to be the holidays. Email me if you have questions. All right, everybody, have a great evening.